Hey everybody, Bill Murphy here for MMORPG.com. Today, we're going to talk about HEX, baby. We'll talk about you and me. We'll talk about all the good things and the bad things that make card games neat. Okay, with that terrible joke out of the way, let's get to the point. You see, I've never been a big fan of card games. I played and dabbled with Magic back in grade school. I've been enjoying Hearthstone casually on my iPhone these past few weeks, but my problem with CCGs and TCGs has always been that there's just not quite enough persistence. One of the main reasons I've come to love MMORPGs so much is that there's always this element of progression and character development that makes me feel like wasting time with a game is actually accomplishing something too. Now finally, with HEX, we're getting an MMO that blends the addictive and strategic nature of the best card games in the world with the lasting persistence of an MMORPG. Cory Jones of Cryptozoic and HEX Entertainment sat down virtually on Skype with me last week to give me my first taste of HEX Shards of Fate. For those unfamiliar, HEX is one of Kickstarter's first big success stories. Funded by fans and backers for over $2 million back in 2013, now 2 years later, HEX is getting closer and closer to its initial goal of being the first MMORPG-TCG. Initially, when the game was released to backers, just the bare bones arena mode and AI opponents were in. Over time, Cory and his team have added features like a fully functional auction house where you can trade cards and gear for in-game gold or real money currency. They've added socketed cards that can be customized with special gems, constantly running tournaments, gear slots for your basic heroes, and just recently the Frost Ring Arena, the game's first real PvE mode. Now, the Frost Ring Arena is essentially a beat as many AI opponents and bosses as you can before you lose 3 times sort of campaign. Each enemy is randomly selected from a pool of opponents themed around the Frost Ring Arena's lore, with over 20 different champions and 6 unique bosses that you'll fight against. You'll get gold, gear, and unique PvE-inspired cards from winning, as the mode brings the total number of cards in HEX to over 600, with over 150 different new pieces of gear to equip, which also change the way certain cards work. Now, you might have a helmet that adds additional benefits or rage to an orc minion card, or gloves that siphon life from enemies or poison them, or any number of other benefits. Equipping your gear becomes an integral part of how you build your deck. Now, later this year, when HEX's MMO campaign mode gets added, and we'll finally be allowed to create and customize our own characters with their own unique skill trees, well, things will fall even deeper down the rabbit hole to make HEX one of the most complex card games available. And that's the kicker there for me, the campaign mode. I've been playing Frost Ring Arena pretty much every day since Cory introduced me to it last week, but I'm even more excited for this whole campaign idea. This is what the game was sold on back in 2013 to backers. With a full overworld map, quests, dungeons, AI mercenaries for hire, skill trees, my own character, and an ever-expanding set of content to take on, it's the campaign mode that has me the most excited. I said at the beginning of this little preview that I've never been a fan of CCGs or TCGs. Well, that's because there's never been one made for my gaming sensibilities. HEX Shards of Fate is that card game. Cory and the team on HEX are making this game for fans of MMORPGs, and when the campaign launches later this year, I suspect there will be more than a few fans who are very happy that they backed HEX 2 years ago. Now, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to us on MMORPG.com without the dot. That's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Plays.tv. And remember, folks, don't let a bad pug get you down. We'll have more on HEX as the game progresses and new features are added.